Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello, welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Jovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, CEO, keeper of the brand, marketing, and digital agency.
We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview some of the top business leaders in the business and in the community.
So helping provide us with some empowerment today is Dr. Moronke Oshin-Martin. She is the owner-director of TGA Premier Sports of Northern Nassau County. Very excited to have her on the show and learn more about TGA. So welcome to the show, Moronke.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're very excited. We're going to have a lot of fun because we're talking about some fun stuff here.
I know. I'm throwing my tennis hat on today,
You
Ray.
are. For those not in the know, so Donyshia's day job is that she also works with the USTA.
Yes. I'm USTA Eastern Section, head of strategic partnerships and events for National Junior Tennis and Learning. And so this is
going to be a really fun show. I mean, there's so much that we can talk about. Before we do, though, I just want to talk about you, Moronke, and your journey from your experience in what you used to do and what you're doing now with TGA. So tell us about that journey.
I started out as a journalist and went into public relations. And I have worked for city government. I worked for city governments as a New York City government, I should say. And I was the spokesperson for the New York City Council for many years. And then I went on to work as a communication director for a Teamsters Union, been, moving around in terms of communication management. I then decided to try something new, and I went into education and got my doctorate in management and went on to teach communication and management at Bronx Community College. And I was there for 17 years, and I was ready, itching to do something else, something a little more fun. And also, it's interesting when we talk about sports. Every time I watch sports, and all my kids are involved in sports, every time I watch sports, I almost think that I can do what they're doing. And my kids are like, Mom, you can't run that fast anymore. Or you can't jump that high anymore. So it's like, it's so exciting. It's all in the blood. So I decided, let me go into this area here and see how I can inspire and help develop young athletes.
And it makes you happy.
Oh, it makes me very happy.
So tell us about TGA specifically. Like, what is TGA? How does it work?
So TGA, which stands for Tennis, Golf, and Athletics, they've been around for about 22 years. They are all over the country. They have chapters all over the country. New York City is the headquarters for TGA, which is one of the reasons why I liked it also. And they are doing incredibly well in New York City, in New Jersey, and places. And then I discovered that Long Island didn't have a TGA. And my coach at the time said, "What about starting one in Long Island?" So I said, "Hey, let's give it a go." So here I am. 2 months later, we started officially end of February, I should probably say, beginning of March. We've been growing or working on growing ever since. We had a spring camp, which was absolutely amazing. We had a few students who joined us, and some of the parents, I just loved the comments. One of the parents said to me, she goes, "I signed my kid up for one day because every day, whenever I say, okay, we're going to go to this sport, she cries."
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't want to go. She doesn't want to go. Mm-hmm. And she said, "Moronke, I don't know what you guys did, but she said she's coming again tomorrow. Can she come tomorrow?" I said, "Of course she can."
Oh.
Doesn't that just warm your heart?
I love it. I love it because she's 7. And she said, I think she's found her sport. And I said, that's the goal. That's what we want to do. We want to develop kids who enjoy the sport and it becomes part of who they are and they just want to play. whether it's amateur, whether it's later on to be professional, they just want to play.
They just want to play.
They just want to play. And that's the goal. If we can make you or your kids lifelong tennis player or golfer, we're into pickleball too, or pickleball player, we want you.
Yeah, and that's something new I didn't know much about anyway, so it's new to me. I was in the networking circles, and someone said to me, let's not meet for coffee, let's meet for pickleball. And I was like, well, what is that? I did not know what I was getting myself into there. Can you tell us a little bit about how you kind of deliver this? So you mentioned camp. So what ways do you involve youth in these different sports?
So TGA is very structured in its approach, unlike the academies that are into just teaching the sport and getting the kids to a certain level. The way that we work is that we partner with other people. So our core focus is partnering with the schools. We go into the schools, and I've lined up a few schools for the fall, which is wonderful and amazing. We partner with schools, and we provide after school, or we supplement their physical education during the day. We also partner with Parks and Recreations for the various municipalities, and we partner with facilities.
Great.
With Parks and Recreations and facilities, we usually do the clinics. We provide clinics, and we also do leagues and tournaments. With schools, it's an after-school enrichment program. And our approach is progressive. So the beauty of TGA, and one of the things that drew me to it, is that we're focused on individual sports here. There's some kids who love team sports, and there are others who will not do it. They will avoid sports at all costs because they don't want to be part of a team. Too much pressure. This is individual. This is an individual sport. Kids focus on what they want to achieve, and that's what our coaches do. That's what we do. We take a progressive approach, and we work with you based on where you are and where you want to be. So we coach them through the entire process so that before they know it, they're actually playing tennis.
I love that.
And I have kids already, 3 beautiful young kids who started out with spring camp with us and are doing our clinics with one of the facilities that we partnered with in Inwood, Nassau County. And the mom said, I think they love tennis. They want to get into tennis. Now they're playing tennis. And they took our 8-week class, which ends next week, I believe. And they're playing. And I know they want to go further, but they enjoy it. I want you to say, I got to go to tennis today. I got to go to my class today. I don't want, I want to play.
Right.
I want to do it. And that's what we're able to bring out on these kids.
How do you connect to the schools, actually? That's one of the first questions I want to ask you, because aren't the schools very tough to get into?
Oh, my goodness. That is the hardest. When you talk about a challenge, that is the hardest. I have never in my career, and I always ran from the idea of cold calls. Mm-hmm. I'm not into sales. Mm-hmm. I tried it and I failed many moons ago when I was a teenager trying to sell shower fixtures, and I realized I'm not a seller because I'm hurt when someone says no. So rejection is not something that I take very well. But in this business, you have to go knocking on those doors. During May, it was shortly after we've been knocking on doors. We've been going through those going to the schools, just talking to them, talking about their programs. People love the idea of golf. Tennis is now a little bit more popular. And I think on Nassau County, they have a few more opportunities. To hear the principal or the assistant principal saying, we'd like golf. I think the kids would like golf. It's just, it's exciting.
Well, for those schools who are listening, we want to make sure that the schools that are listening are very well aware of what you do. And so, and is there a specific best connection for you? Is it the principal? Is the PTA?
It's usually we go with the principal and the athletics director.
Yeah.
But you know who are the greatest? The office managers.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. They let you into the school. Well, the principal is planning on changing how we do tennis and wants to play more tennis. So this is a great opportunity. They're great connections, and they take my calls.
So those office managers, the office managers, the principals who are listening. So, yeah, you got to take Moronke's call. You are listening to Tara Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guest today is Dr. Moronke Oshin-Martin. She's the owner-director of TGA Premier Sports of Northern Nassau County. So tell us a little bit. You have some leagues and tournaments. I'd like to know a little bit about that and how that works.
Leagues and tournaments are a big part of TGA's programming. We're not there yet because we have to build up our students.
Build up that base.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to build up the base. But once we get students who are regular and are ready, TGA, as I said, is all over New York City. And we plan to, start working on those leagues and tournaments. I was talking to a colleague of mine who is out in Westchester. He was at a tournament out there in Rhode Island. So they go to tennis tournaments, they go to golf tournaments, and that's how kids get the sense of real play.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's how they are inspired, because they see the really good players. And they also get an opportunity to play with them. So yes, we plan to do those, but right now we're still at the early stages.
Yeah, we need them to hit. They want to play. They want to hit.
They want to play. Yes.
Yeah, you want them to just enjoy learning.
Absolutely.
At this point.
And being in that environment. Nothing like being in that environment where it's all happening. And, the excitement.
Well, the play is really where that's where everything is learned. It's in, I used to think it was like in the backyard, in the schoolyard. It's all in these activities. It's all in the sports that people learn about working together. Mm-hmm. They learn those principles.
And the principle of sportsmanship, which is very, very important. And I think it's something that unfortunately we're losing connection with. The idea of when you play, you may not win, but that doesn't mean that you denigrate the person who won or that you speak badly of them. So we're teaching that. We're teaching self-confidence too. I didn't win this one, but the next one, I'm going to get that. That's what we want to develop.
It's also key to personal development because you said it. It's really the sports that you're focusing on are these individual sports where folks learn that it's not about necessarily winning the game, but it is about, all right, I was this good this time, and next time I was this much better. Mm-hmm. And you chart your individual growth.
And that's what we do. We chart the growth. And we chart it with the students. We chart it with their parents. That's what the coaches do. Then we push them to the next level. Okay, you've done this. This is really, really good. Now, at the end of each session, they do get a chance to play. So they see for themselves. For some kids, it's a little frustrating when they think that they're there. And then they play and they see that they need more. But they'll say, okay, I need to be able to do this. We're going to focus on this next. And that's what makes TGA, for me, special, because we're really working with the kids. It's self-discipline. It's about growth, as you say. So that's how we work it.
I also think it's about stepping outside your comfort zone.
You have to step out. Well, you have to. When you're playing sports, you have to step outside your comfort zone and push yourself.
Now, tell us about some of the misconceptions. The work that you do, I imagine that people are like, oh, well, they just cover it in gym class. Or, oh, people aren't playing tennis right now. Or what are the misconceptions you're experiencing as you're kind of going through this now?
That's the interesting question. As I said before, there a lot of gym programs cover tennis. They don't do pickleball yet. But we know that's coming because it's growing with the adults. We want to grow it with the kids. The golf is the one that they find intriguing because they haven't, it's kind of like, we can actually bring that into the school. That's a great idea. So that's the piece that works well when I go out to promote the program. The tennis, by the time we talk about that whole progression, the way that it's done, as opposed to the way it's done in gym where we go in there, I keep saying it's not just about bouncing balls. It's not just about knocking those balls over the net. It's about getting the technique. As I said, we want our students to learn the skills, to understand their equipment and how to use it and how to use it well, but also to enjoy it and to be able to grow with it. So as they're growing, they're learning. They're growing with that sport. I think a lot of folks are beginning to understand the gym is great. It's 45 minutes in the curriculum, but you could do a lot more. And if you can get them involved in a sport, this is also an opportunity for you to develop your own league on campus.
And so now, you mentioned that you go into the gym classes, and so are you bringing your coaches in for the administrators out there that's listening? How do they work with you? Are you training their coaches? Are you bringing your coaches in? Give them a little insight in how you work with them.
Okay, so TGA, we come with our own equipment. Our coaches, we make sure that we take some of the best. I have coaches who were pros, who were professionals. I say professionals, have been playing for years, and they want to come in and work with us. For the part-time, it's really wonderful. I have a few teachers or retired teachers, golf players, tennis players, USTA trained professionals are all our coaches. What we do is we come in. All we need is space. Gym space. If you have a gym, we can convert it. My coaches drag a huge bag. We have our own tennis nets. We have our own pickleball nets. We come with golf clubs, complete, for a class of 16 at a time. Tennis rackets for every size and age. We are packed. So we are a one shop. You work with us, you partner with us. We come in. You don't have to do anything. Just give us the space, and we will make that program work.
Sounds like you're transforming that hardwood floor into pop-up nets and a great experience.
It's absolutely amazing what our coaches can do, and they're so adept to putting this together. 15 minutes, they have those nets up and down, and with the golf, we have our own little putting green. We have it all. So I say, don't worry so much about. The first thing I got was, oh my God, you're going to kill my gym floor. No. I think I walked with one of my balls, golf balls. They're soft, specially made for kids and for playing indoors. Kids work with them very, very easily, and they don't damage the floors. As I said, we don't play on the floor, especially for golf. We have our own green that we play on, and our so everything we have is made to be adaptable wherever. And if they have a patch of grass on the back, we'll work that too. I remember my the founder of the company said when he first started the program, he went into the school and the school said, "Oh, we're not having any space for golf. We just don't have it. We can't do that." He said, "Give me a hallway. Give me a hallway, and I'll show you what we can do." And he started that golf program in the hallway.
That's impressive.
So we're self-contained. We come fully equipped.
Now, I would think also Long Island is a wonderful spot for golf just because there's so many golf courses.
Yes.
Are there ways that TGA can work with some of the country clubs or golf courses?
We are working, that's a great question. We are working hard on that. When you talk about challenges and misconceptions, we're talking about right there. To
me, when you say space, I think there's so much space for golf.
When I bought TGA of Nassau County, I'm thinking, oh my God, all these golf courses. We've got it made. It's very hard to get in there. They are very protective of their space. I think some folks are not open to having kids, period. But I've also traveled across the country. We were out in North Carolina in February, and the weather wasn't great. I was so disappointed. I was expecting warm weather. It was freezing. And we were out on the golf course with young TGA players, and they had a small space away from the players, so we didn't disturb them in the least. But they had space in the front and they had space in the back. And one of the things that the owner of the course said, he said, your kids are really great because they're helping my concession stands. Because
oh, wow.
Yes.
I didn't even think of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because they come in, after play, we get them ice cream. They can have, and some of them will get their lunch there. So for a camp, we can do lunch right there. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to crack that yet. a colleague of mine from North Carolina came with me, and he said, Moronke, I'll show you how to get into these country clubs. You'll see. They'll love you. He was very disappointed, but it was almost like a closed door. We can't do that right now. Oh, we don't know. No.
Yeah, but where are the next generation of players going to come from?
And that's what it is. And when we talk about partnership, we're talking about the fact that we will train them to a certain level, and then we will pass them on to you, because they too have folks who give lessons. So we take them till about, we go from 4 to 15. And some stay with us. Others, we will say, here, this is the course that you've been working with. You know this course very well now. Joe over here is going to be your coach going forward. So that's the partnership that we have.
And it also helps with the next generation of caddies.
And that's what we're saying. It's about inspiring the next generation of players. Mm-hmm. Because if somebody doesn't do it, then it'll be, I hate to say it, the golf courses are filled with the older guys who, come from work and they play, or the retired folks. We're saying you can build another generation. And
there is a huge, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is a huge interest too.
Yes.
I was at an event recently with high schoolers, the visionaries for Leukemia Lymphoma Society. And so these are high school, seniors that are working on charitable things. So they were talking about golf. And I said, is that something that you played in gym? Oh, no, we arranged an outing. Mm-hmm. So here you have, there's an interest here. We just have to feed it.
Absolutely. There is an interest, and we have to give kids the opportunity. Because right now, talking about golf is a little intimidating.
Right.
But when we go to those expos, and we've been to a few of them, those expos and fairs, and we do a little demo, and I have one of my coaches there, and the kids, they always come for the golf, and they want to play, and we have our little putting green, and they play, and they love it, and the parents are like, do you like this? And they're like, yes, I do. This is another come on in. And that's how we've been able to get some of our customers. But the kids want the opportunity. They will never get it. They won't get it in school unless we bring it to the school. And they won't get it unless the golf courses open up their doors to younger people.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Dr. Moronke Oshin-Martin, owner, director of TGA Premier Sports of Northern Nassau County. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz, on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Now, I'm a true believer that if you see it, you believe it. If you see yourself, then you have the ability to say, you know what, I too can achieve it. And so when I think about, golf in particular, and in the 1900s, I lived in Augusta, Georgia, so I was able to see, the course prior to Tiger,
nice.
Right? And it was very different back then. But it does give you, the highway, it does give you hope. Right? The highway wasn't named Bobby Jones. It was named Bobby Jones for a reason, right? Because he made such an impact on the sport. And so when you say, Ray, that there's young people who are actually, getting together and having having meetups for golf, that's happening in tennis, that's happening, with that other sport, pickleball, that's happening, with Topgolf right now, on the driving range, and so many different sports. So it's good to see young people coming together, and I feel that your organization is kind of being a funnel towards that energy.
And the thing is, we have to provide these services.
You must.
Otherwise, they're going to go somewhere else.
I like the energy of the funnel, because that's what we really want to be. We want to open the door to young people for these sports. They have the energy. As I said, it's intimidating until they actually see it. And you do have to believe it. And I think it was Leila Fernandez, who is one of our ambassadors, who said that her father, she started very, very early too. Her father said, you have to believe that you can do what you're saying, right? When she's watching other players. And that's what we're saying to our kids. You got to believe it. And when the opportunity comes, take it.
Yes.
And then just go with it and go with your heart with it. For me, it's almost an emotional thing because I think, again, because it is a individual sport, it's got to be in your heart.
Yes.
It's got to be in your heart. You've got to love it. And when you love it, you play well, and you see the energy. You see the emotion. Sometimes you watch Serena. And, you see the frustration sometimes. And, it's all because it's deep in the blood. It's in the heart. It's me. And, I think for kids, that's how we grow. That's how we learn. That's how we impart the lessons onto the next generation. And I'm hoping that our kids, and there have been kids who've gone through the TGA program who have gone into amateur level, and I understand that there are a couple who have gone pro from TGA. So I'm hoping we could do that right here in Nassau County too, with our students.
Oh, we're on the precipice of that, so we're going to make it happen. So, listen, Moronke, as we close, where can people find out information about you and about TGA?
Okay, so we are online. First of all, they can call me. Mm-hmm. I am attached to my cell phone, just like all the kids around here. It's permanently attached to my hand. It's Moronke, MORONKE, at playtga.com, Northern Nassau County. And that will take you straight to our website. And it will also take you to our program. You'll see where it says programs. And when you go in there, you'll see all the programs that are available. If all you can remember is playtga.com, it will take you to our corporate site. And you can also find me from there. When you put in Northern Nassau County, it'll take you right through there. But you can reach us right there or by email, and I will get right back to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Moronke, for joining us today.
This has been fun. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we had the opportunity to promote tennis and golf. I look forward to talking to you some more.
Two sports of a lifetime.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'd like to leave you with DB philosophy. The only one who can tell you can't win is you. And you don't have to listen. Jessica Enos Hill.
I want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-host and producers. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.